anger is one of the hardest emotions we deal with. People are afraid of your own anger and especially afraid of the anger of other people. And one of the things we've been teaching is called the 5 Secrets of Effective Communication, method you can use in almost any conflicted situation to transform it almost suddenly. And I had a great example of this when I was teaching at the University of Pennsylvania Medical School. I was teaching the psychiatric residents the 5 secrets of effective communication, like the disarming technique, agreeing with the other person, thought and feeling we inquiry, I feel statement, stroking, things of that nature. And one of the residents really got excited by it. We practically had to stop him from standing in front of the hospital evangelizing and handing out lists of the 5 secrets of effective communication. But he had a really great story about how the 5 secrets saved him one night when he was on call at the VA hospital. And there was an emergency call from the 7th floor, which is they have a schizophrenia locked unit there. Veterans who are fulminantly psychotic can be hospitalized and treated. And they had an emergency call that one of the veterans was explosively angry and was screaming and threatening people in the day room, and could he, urgently go up and check it out. And he had some medical students following him around, like as part of their rotation to learn, what you do when you're a psychiatrist. And so they went up there together and went into the day room, and there was this tall fellow, maybe 6'7" and 280 pounds, real powerful, muscle-bound guy. He was standing in the day treatment room screaming at the top of his lungs and the threatening people. And this fellow arrived with his medical students, and he was shouting and saying, "My psychiatrist promised to see me today, and she didn't see me. And in fact, she went to a conference in Washington, D.C., and I'm pissed off. People never care about me," so stuff like that. And he was just very, very agitated. And the medical students were eager to step in and show their stuff and be effective. And they made the mistakes that you would make and that most people make in dealing with someone who's explosively angry, which is to try to contain the person or reason with the person, which makes it intensify. That's why they had called the resident on call. We're trying to manage this thing, and it's not working. And so the medical students said, "Well, we know your doctor. She's a very good person, and I'm sure she had an important reason to go to this conference, and I'm sure she'll talk to you when she returns and explain this situation." And he was standing next to a big a glass case, a bookcase with a glass front on it. And so he picked up a wooden chair and smashed it against the bookcase, and the glass went flying all over the room, and the chair shattered. And now he's standing there holding one of the broken pieces of the chair, like a club, looking super threatening. And so now the question is, what would you do if you were there?
You might be wondering what the Feeling Great app is. Hi, I'm Adam. I'm a licensed therapist and one of the designers of the Feeling Great app. And the Feeling Great app is an AI chat tool that's meant to not just help you feel a little bit better, not just help you find relief, but truly feel great. And the methods in the app are developed by the legendary David Burns. And in a very structured and routine way, they're meant to walk you through the exact process that David uses to help his clients feel better. And to our surprise, the app has been incredibly effective. You might wonder, have people gotten 20% better, 30% better, 40% better? No. Believe it or not, in one single 1.5 hour chat session, people have actually seen a 70% improvement on average in their negative mood. So if you'd like to feel great, and gosh, would we ever love that to you, download our app in the App Store today.
Okay. Anyway, I just thought I'd get you to think about that for a minute. But the resident was thinking 5 secrets of effective communication. So he said to the medical students, hold on just a minute, that's what you're doing is not working. And I'm sure if you have a son or daughter who gets angry and cranky, or a family member, you may wonder what to do. How do you tame a raging lion who's ready to attack? So he started out with thought empathy and disarming and feeling empathy. Like, so you're saying that your psychiatrist promised to see you today, and then she didn't show up and didn't even tell you what was going on. And the fellow shouted, "That's right, that's exactly right." And then the psychiatric resident said, I can understand why you feel so pissed off. I'd feel really hurt and angry myself, and you have every right to feel the way you do. And so instead of trying to talk him out of his anger, he's stroking him, and he's agreeing with them and telling him he's right to be angry. And the fellow said, oh, do you think so too? And the psychiatrist said, absolutely. You and I are on exactly the same page. It can hurt tremendously when someone lets you down, and they don't even tell you, they don't show up and they don't tell you why. And I think you should be angry. You have every right to be angry. I'm totally in agreement with you. And then the fellow said, oh, well, if that's the way you feel about it, let's sit down and talk it out a little. So he sat down, they talked it out, and then he went back to his room, and he was satisfied. And it was a real simple thing, but it can be life-saving, really. The idea of the disarming technique, there was a lot of nonsense probably in what this man was saying, but the resident found the truth in it to agree with the person. Why do people escalate? Well, it's because people are opposing them, not listening. So they get angrier and angrier. When is someone going to listen to what I'm trying to say? And all the hospital staff have been telling him, calm down, your psychiatrist will be back. They weren't acknowledging the validity in what he was thinking and feeling. And when the psychiatrist did that and stroked him, showed respect, paraphrased his words, she said she'd, see you today, and then she didn't show up, and she didn't even tell you that she was going out of town. That's thought empathy. You have every right to be angry. That's the disarming technique, and I can understand, your anger, and you're exploding and with rage, and I'm with you there. I'm feeling exactly the same way. That's an I feel statement, and that suddenly he got that morsel that he was looking for, a bit of human understanding. And so that's how you deal with someone who's in a psychotic, homicidal rage.